What's good, bro?
What's up, brother? How you feeling today?
Good. Getting my little coffee intake, so feeling great right now.
I knew there was a reason as to why I had to make a cup of coffee. I don't know what that calling was, but now I know.
Here we go. Let's go.
Cheers, my brother.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
It's up and onwards, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts, bro. Facts.
Cheers to a really great start to 2026.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's been a good start so far. That's real.
I feel like if anybody's listening to this and you are suffering, understand that we are not only, obviously, of course, in this physical environment that's taking shape right now with everything that's happening all over the world and uh, the geopolitical hotspots, the inflation, the escalating prices, just the depreciating prices and risk assets that many of you all probably invested in over the past consecutive couple of years. Just understand that it's not physical, something that we're going through right now. It's also mental. And in order to come out of this, you need to have mental stability. You need to have mental fortitude. You need to be a very strong, superior person mentally, sound, fit, open minded, not negative, not feeding into this, victim mindset. If you want to come out of what we're going through, not only alive, but obviously, of course, flourishing financially, physically, and mentally. And I encourage you to really do that inner work, that shadow work to, you know, come out on top of what it is that we're going through right now. Because if you don't, it's not just going to be investments. It's not just going to be money. It's not just going to be digital transformation. It's going to be the mindset that doesn't allow you to progress after this era that we're living through. So,
Yeah, being positive is key. Super key.
and not just being positive, bro, being resilient, having the ability to bounce back from certain situations. And I brought up that victim mindset. When something happens to you, what happens to you in life is not what makes you who you are. It's how you react to those situations is what makes you who you are. The outcome of certain situations and how you respond to them is what makes you who you are. Something negative happens to you, the same negative thing that could happen to you could happen to me, but how I react to it based off of the shadow work and the inner work that I've done will likely be positive. So the same negative situation that you could go through might actually be a positive for me because of how my mindset comes out of that situation on the other side. And if you're not doing that work right now and what it is that we're going through on a global scale, you better get out now.
Yeah. A lot of people are gonna be cooked because they're gonna be in that same mindset instead of the mindset that you just explained. And when AI is ramping up in real time right now, robots, AI, it's all getting smarter, more intelligent. I've been reposting the videos all on my feed here on X, but you got robots doing karate, you got robots fucking doing, military shit, you got robots, sewing super tiny strings and thread and like you got to be able to adapt and have a certain mindset to accept that and understand that the times are changing. But I feel like a lot of people are going to fall victim to the victim mindset, like, oh yeah, that happened to you, yeah, same here, man, there's some BS, you know what I mean, like that whole victim mentality type of talk. But yeah, bro.
I mean, look at what happened in COVID. And I mean, we could talk about the AI thing. Like building digital skills right now is an absolute mandatory process that we all have to go through right now. If you're not looking into building digital skills and accelerating in this digital transformation, as a matter of fact, I haven't announced it, but I'm in the process of writing my second book. And in that book, I talk heavily about what I talk about in the CyperX 4.0 content, which is this digital transformation and the acceleration of artificial intelligence and how people can either utilize it to benefit and extend their awareness and extend portions of their critical thinking and be a faster call to action for themselves and turn it into a business model for themselves and all these things, or they can become a slave to AI. um and that's exactly what we're living through right now. It's like people aren't really understanding that we are at war. We are going through a massive war right now, and it's not just a physical war, it's mental warfare, and it's been happening obviously, of course, for some time. It's not like we've ceased the warfare, but it's like people forget what they did to everybody back in 2019, 2020. This is still part of that cyclical digital transformation, this forcing of digital IDs and this movement over to universal basic income and smart cities and artificial intelligence and digital tooling that'll take over the normal way that we used to do and transact finance. It's all part of the problem. It's all part of the problem. So now is the time to really lock in. It's the time to focus. It's the time to fix your mindset. I brought this post up here because, people need to see this. It's not a flex. It's not saying that we're better than anybody because we don't. We really are truly here to just motivate people to become better versions of themselves. And what you do with that information is completely up to you. But now is that time where if you're listening and you feel like you're suffering, you're at a low point in your life, or maybe you're not and you're at a high, but you feel like you could take it further. This is your call to action to really do the inner work to prepare yourself for what's coming. Like Aqua said, he brought up AI, what robotics are going to be capable of over the coming years. Shit, honestly, over the coming months. But nobody has a crystal ball. Learning how to navigate these markets successfully and not just being some, uneducated retail investor is mandatory at this point. You know, you don't understand liquidity conditions. You don't understand central banks positioning. You don't understand monetary policy. You don't understand labor market, inflationary data, geopolitical tensions, tariff related escalations, all these things that these financial institutions talk about that move market sentiment and sway risk on, risk off sentiment, all these things. You got to level up next year. You got to level up. These things matter. These things matter for portfolio allocation. These things matter for sentiment. These things matter for bull and bear markets. It's not this market where back in the early days of crypto, you could just put money in and see 10x, 100x, 200x, 300x, 1000x. It's going to be much more competitive. We're heading into an environment where people that take advantage of agentic AI to manage portfolios, that know how to prompt AI properly to pay attention to these fundamentals and manage and balance their portfolios properly for them, are going to supersede and blow people out of the water that don't. You have to ask your question, are you going to be a part of the person or the people, the group of people that learn how to do those things? That use AI as an extension of themselves to become more profitable, to make more money, to accelerate in this digital transformation, or become a slave to it.
And I would even say, just to put the cherry on top of what you just said, it's like when you come into crypto, your mindset, you know, gets into this lottery mindset, like, oh, I just need to hold 10,000 of these tokens and just wait and I'll be rich, right? I'm gonna be able to retire. And although that could possibly happen, I'm not saying it's not possible, but what if it doesn't? What's your backup plan? What's plan B, right? So having two different plans or three different plans to get to your ultimate goal, I feel like is the best way, So
I couldn't agree more. There's that one video that we shared that one time. I don't remember from what gentleman or what institution he stemmed from. It was a couple of podcasts ago, but he specifically said that in order to be successful as an investor in crypto, you need to understand market cycles and how to rebalance your portfolio. Do you remember that, bro? You remember that video where he was talking about rebalancing, how institutions rebalance their portfolios on a quarterly basis?
mhm,
And here you
mhm.
have, you know, or the average retail investor just thinks buy and hodl is the strategy. You know, imagine if you learned about market cycles, you learned about market sentiment, and you were successfully able to position yourself in and out of the market strategically, you know, because you understood the fundamental landscape, you understood liquidity conditions, risk off and risk on sentiment. Just like these financial institutions, you'd likely be a little bit more favorable in your portfolio, albeit everything's down right now across the
Mm.
board. But still, nonetheless, you'd learn how to position yourself in stable coins in times like this, earning yield, accumulating more and more of a cash position to buy dips like this, you know. So that way, when we come out of events like this, you're positioned with more block space. You're positioned with more altcoins, whether it's through DeFi positioning or trading positioning, so on and so forth. This, you know, I'm just going to download a wallet, put some assets into it, forget about it, and hope that I become successful mindset. It's weak. It's lazy.
Yeah. It's highly stressful too, if you think about it, because that same person is not educated on what's really going on. So their mindset can be easily swayed with all the FUD that might be, spread online on the internet, X, YouTube. And when you do the work, you put in the elbow grease, you have a better understanding of what's going on, why the markets are down, why the markets are up, or why the markets are doing whatever the hell they're doing when you're tapped in and you really understand that, as opposed to just letting a bunch of moon boy YouTube channels kind of dictate your mindset and how you feel ultimately, um, to the whole space, which is just it's a lethal thing to do in this time right now. I feel like tapping into the folks that really know what they're doing and have the proof that they can do what they do, right? Um, and the credentials and resume. You could just go down the timeline on Cypress's videos, and this man is like a 95, 97% accuracy rate on calling what the markets are about to do. And now's the time to get with the truth and not bullshit lies that's out there.
I wonder how much longer. This is the last thing I'll say on this spiel before I go over this post, and then we'll transition and play a video clip from the dude from Coin Fund. But I wonder how much longer it's really going to take for people to wake up in crypto to realize that there's certain people in this space that are just they're not beneficial. It's disgusting what exists still in crypto. You know, this ideological theory driven mindset that's swarming, or at least swarmed. I don't really know. I don't pay attention to it anymore since the pullback happened, but definitely swarmed the retail space last year of all these people saying that all these things were going to happen with prices at the end of the year in 2025 and at the beginning of 2026. And now here we are, and the market's lost over $2 trillion of value, and none of that stuff is coming to fruition. Who's still winning? That's what you have to ask yourself. Who in the market environment in which we're operating in now is still making money? Who's still operating successfully? Who's still managing portfolios successfully? Who's still not only managing portfolios successfully themselves, but helping others build portfolios successfully and win in these markets? And I can stand on the fact that here at CyperX, it's not only myself winning, it is many other people. Not everybody, because that would be unrealistic, but many others passing challenges, learning digital skills like day trading successfully, building real value by understanding that we are the assets, you guys and gals. We are the assets. I cannot say that enough. Your ability to believe in yourself, your resilience in yourself to succeed through cycles like this, through digital, mental, and physical warfare is what makes you successful. You are the asset, right? I
Yeah,
cannot
bro.
stress that enough.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, bro. And the ones that are making cash flow in times like this, especially in crypto, man,
Cash flow is king right now, man. Cash flow
yeah,
is king. I posted this post the other day because this was the interview. If you guys haven't watched it and you're listening to this live, I encourage you guys to go watch this. This is just a little tiny brief interview with the private community that we had the other day. because Aqua and a couple of other members have passed recently funded challenges where now, you know, there's multiple six-figure, in some cases even seven-figure traders in our community. And you know, I said here, now is the time to study with intention, build skills, because once it clicks, like I said, you become the asset lifetime. You don't need some crypto, you don't need some trading pair, you don't need some investment. You are the asset. And when you understand how powerful that is within itself, you take that and you go off of that and you are forever successful off of that alone.
Yeah. 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 Now it doesn't matter what life does to you. You could with a trading skill set, you can get yourself out of any situation. I feel like doesn't matter.
So I encourage you guys to take action. The first portion of this was a little bit motivational, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm glad that we opened it this way. Shout out to the CyperX research team. Shout out to the CyperX community. Killing it this year so far. Like Q1, bro, honest to God, we had over 25 people become fully funded six-figure traders. Timestamps are in the community. I've posted them all so you know that we're not capping or trying to flex. I'm just here to try to motivate you guys listening to get you to see that we're normal people. We're not some advanced community that you can't tap into or that you can't understand, or it's not that we know more information and you can't have access to this information or none of that. No, that's all garbage stuff that exists on the internet to try to get you to feel like there's competition that you can't participate in. Whereas this community lets you see that we're all equal. And if you put in the work comparatively to other people that are also putting in the work, you can come out on top. You can. You just need that self work. You need that inner work, that shadow work to believe in yourself and understand that you are the asset. Eric, Crypto Walls in our community passed the funded challenge just yesterday. Jordan, who I had the opportunity to meet last year in October at the CyPRX link up, passed the
Wait,
challenge yesterday.
wait, Eric passed? Yo,
Yeah,
shout out to Eric, bro. I didn't realize I didn't see that yesterday.
yeah, Eric passed. And then obviously, of course, yourself, bro, just became a
Yeah,
fully funded trader again for the second time after taking payouts, adding more capital to your overall arsenal.
yeah,
So
bro. Which only 1 to 5% of people can even pass a combine. So I feel like me being able to pass a couple and other members in our community and more than a handful, you're talking a few handfuls, a couple handfuls of people who are able to pass these challenges, I feel like speaks loudly to what type of information is on the inside of CyberX, right? You know what I mean? Um, it's not some gimmick bullshit where people are saying, "Oh, the way they make their money is off of charging people money to teach them," and it's like, nah, bro. There's one of
not
those communities that's the complete opposite of that, bro. Like,
actually, as a matter of fact, the amount of money that CyPRX makes is less than the amount of money that it costs to run the institutional software that we charge people for in our community. How crazy is that?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Like our institutional software costs anywhere between 8 to 10 grand a month just to access the data feed to get the info that we need to pull the info for our dark pools and deltas. And we ain't making that much per month and signups and all that stuff. So how do we continue to fund that to give that access to our community members? We make money trading and pay it that way. Like it's so
yeah,
simple. It's crazy. And it's truly wild what you just said, going back to the statistics that only 1 to 5% of people can even pass a funded challenge, and 1% of people that actually pass funded challenges can pull money from the market. And you would think that a community like ours would have thousands of people in it. We have a couple hundred, don't mind you, and the people that are in our community are very like religious for CyberX. They'd back us to the freaking wall and back because a lot of our members have been with us for 3, 4 plus years. You know,
mm-hmm,
once
mm-hmm,
most people come in, they don't leave, usually most of the time. But you would think, the proof that I share on the internet, where it's no hopium, no hype, it's just straight normal people taking it to the next level. Look at this. March 20th, Christina passed a challenge. Brandon, look at the dates. freaking March 27th passed the challenge. You would think people would flood in and want more access to real shit like this, but
Yeah.
that is the farthest thing from the truth, bro. It's like
Yeah.
nobody wants this.
I'll be real with you. I think we need to just change our approach. We need to go and buy Lamborghinis, chains, go buy a big mansion, and start doing content.
I literally
with
said I literally I said that I literally said that, bro, today. I said, "You know what, dude? The algorithm is so jacked that instead of putting out real accurate information, instead of putting out accuracy all the time week after week after week after week, I should just go buy a Lamborghini. I could go fucking buy a Lamborghini today cash and just start flexing that shit, and then maybe people would realize. I don't know. It's so crazy. It's like this
yeah,
wild war that's happening. Like, bro, look at you could just go down my timeline. Look at this. Grow your vibes. Pass the challenge. Look at this.
yeah,
Congratulations. Look at this. Hold on. It keeps going. D'Angelo, pass the challenge. This is
yeah.
I'm showing you over 6 people now in this call alone. Who do we have? Another one. Grow your vibes, making Osmondus. Bro, you've changed my life. First with your YouTube knowledge. This knowledge is so crazy that you share. I'm angry for myself for not having started sooner. You would think people would read this and be, like, super motivated to change it. Look, Lee CUK passed a challenge, you know? This is crazy stuff. You would think, man, but
All
no.
using the same edge, the same strategy. When we get in our Zoom calls after the trading session, a majority of us are all, we were riding the same wave, caught the same moves because it's the same edge, and I feel like we're in one of those catch 22s though, bro, because it's like if we do go get Lamborghinis and chains and mansions and all that shit, then they're gonna be like, oh, they make their money off of charging people to come into their group. It's just like, bro.
I'm a minimalistic guy, if I'm being completely honest. I don't really care for any of that stuff. I've been there, done that. I bought a nice car one time in the early stages of my trading career. Honestly, just got tired of getting speeding tickets and I got rid of it, you know?
Yeah,
So I'm just and I know that the people in our community, bro, they see the realness and that's why they stay for such a long time. And so at the end of the day, I'd rather have quality over quantity, and that's what we have. So I'm grateful for that. But I guess it just really truly hurts my soul as someone who really built his career off of trying to help other people. Like that's literally what I wake up in the morning every day. I smile and I'm like, you know what? Who am I going to help improve today? Because it's never myself. I spend 90% of my day motivating other people, you know,
yeah.
90% of my time motivating other people. All my time is literally spent with the community, one-on-ones, private Zoom calls, all day, every day.
Shit, mentoring me as well. Shit. Yeah, bro.
And, it's so crazy, man, how saturated this space is. So many more people would be successful if they just took it upon themselves to block out the noise, get rid of all the bullshit from their feed, and tap into just some realness.
Yeah,
What's there to lose at the end of the day? Because clearly, I could say this with confidence. What you're probably paying attention to right now is not working for you, clear as day. It's
yeah,
not.
yeah,
So what's there to lose?
yeah. Bro, I remember when I first came into crypto, I would listen to so many different XRP influencer channels. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, like I thought listening to that stuff was like putting in the work. But I feel like on some on some level, when you first come in, you kind of are you're kind of just getting the gist of things. But then after a while, and especially coming across like one of our lives or a CyperX YouTube video where there's some real research, real game inside that video, I was like, yo, I started gravitating towards CyperX and this whole crew, you know what I mean? And once you see it, it's like, damn, all that other stuff is just it's distractions, it's garbage. They're there to make money off of clicks and views, and they're not giving anything back to the people ultimately, except for a new revamped opinion that gets revamped, every 2 weeks. And no shade on anybody out there, but like if somebody's not giving you game and they're just giving you an opinion all the time, you should reevaluate if that channel is good for your mind, good for your soul, and good for you in this space. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, the goal why we talk about this to the private community all the time, the goal is to last longer than the competitors. And
Hmm.
eventually, people that take this crypto and investing thing serious, they will wake up because eventually they will realize, like, oh shit, I can't just be here. If I want to actually make money, I can't just be speculating and just hope anymore. Like, hope only gets you so far. And then what takes you past hope is real skills. And
Hmm.
there comes a time in your career where eventually you wake up, everybody has to, and you're either going to keep falling victim to this hopium mentality or be like, damn, I actually need to build some real skills and develop an understanding of how these markets move and situate myself with a community that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. And when you have that realization, CyperX will be here for you. Right.
Yo, it's shout out to Midwest Blue Collar in the comments. This person said, I replaced YouTube hype with Wealth 28 videos, Discord info, and kids at work, and it's changing the way I think.
Yeah.
Bro, I feel like that's one of the best things that you could have done for your crypto career.
He just
100%.
as a matter of fact, he just came into our community a couple, weeks ago or days ago because he asked us the question on the live to check out a scam that's happening, that's fluctuating right now across the XRP army right now,
Oh my God,
and we
that
and
Fortis
we
bullshit.
yeah, and we checked it out, and he was like, "Yo, this is dope that you guys took the time to, like, warn people about this and then, jumped in private Zoom calls with us and shit, and now you can see that he's benefiting." Look at this. This is the last example. Our institutional software that we've built that we talk about so frequently, I can say hands down that on the internet, no retail community on the face of the internet has access to this information. A gentleman that has over 13 years of hedge fund experience took over 4 years to build this software, and it highlights institutional deltas and dark pools that exist in any asset class that our community members want access to inside our community. Look at this. This is a post from March 17th, 2026, where I highlighted $1.27 on XRP is an area of interest where price could pull back into because our software highlighted that there was a buy dark pool at $1.27, right? Dates and timestamps don't lie. So then if you go back and now you go to the most recent post, look at this, bro. Look at this accuracy. You cannot make this shit up. It literally dropped straight down into $1.27 yesterday.
And that's not the first time, bro. Those things are so accurate. They've been like that since last year, hitting, this year, hitting. Nothing has changed with these
And
levels.
do you know how many people are in the XRP community? I've been an XRP investor, by the way, mind you, again, because I talk a lot of shade about the XRP army, but I've been an XRP holder. It's my biggest bag since 2016. It'll probably stay my biggest bag because I bought most of my XRP sub 11 cents. So it's, of course, my biggest bag because buying sub 11 cents and considering where the price is still at today, I'm in a lot of profit, right? But,
Yeah.
like, you would think that how thirsty the XRP community is to make money and, like, have, like,
Yeah.
price appreciation and accuracy, like, dude, they would flock to this type of information. Fuck no. All I get on the internet is a bunch of people like, "Oh, you fucking fuck blah, blah."
You're wrong. XRP will be $750 by June.
Oh my god, dude, it just cracks me up because week after week after week, what people don't understand on the outside is that from the behind the scenes, I can actually see our institutional software. And on the order flow, every single time that some bullish announcement comes out about XRP or somebody on the internet with some influencer hype makes some price prediction, on the back end, what we and our team can see is we can see the order flow. So every single time everybody thinks that XRP's price is going to pump, we can see buy volume and sell volume, and we can see buyers getting trapped, and we can see
Mhm.
sellers gaining the upper hand, and we can see buy walls, and we can see sell walls, and we can see that it's all bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. If people only knew, they'd be like, "Man, XRP's up 10%. We're about to go. It's about to blow." And it's like, if you only knew the delta that's about to tap right now.
If you only knew that if it doesn't
Uh,
break this dark pool and if buyers get trapped at it, it's gonna go back down.
yeah, bro.
Shit, your bag would be a lot bigger, you know?
Mhm.
Crazy. And you know
Yeah,
what's
bro.
even crazier? I'm super excited to run up the bag again in April because I made, a significant amount of money day trading XRP in February, and the whole entire time. As a matter of fact, I showed the entire community how on Fulcrum Finance, I went from the top. So there was 5,616 traders on Fulcrum Finance, and in February, I showed people in our community how I went from number 5,019 on Fulcrum, and I jumped all the way up to the top 150 day traders on Fulcrum Finance.
Yeah, you did. That's no cap, bro. That's no cap. And you probably were on that platform less time than a majority of those 5,400 people that are
I was
trading on
on
there.
I was only on it for a month. I mean, I'm still on it, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine if you would have traded XRP all month last month on there too, bro? Like, damn, that you probably would be top 5, top 10. Like I told you, you're about to be.
I plan to be in the top 50 this month for sure. Top 50 day traders. The only thing is that the P&L of the top 100 traders is substantially higher than my current portfolio balance. So to
Mhm.
get into the top 100, it's definitely going to be extremely competitive. This is where the real competition starts, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it still says a lot that out of 5,616 traders and showing everybody in our community week after week after week, literally, honestly, too, and all I do is what's crazy is I just look for delta setups, bro, and take buy and sell positions from the dark pools in our community. That's all I did in February on XRP.
Damn.
I would
Yeah.
set an alert. I would set an alert, an alarm at a dark pool.
Yeah.
If it was a sell dark pool, I'd set an alert. I'd go in during New York session. If price was at a sell dark pool and it was rejecting it, and I saw bearish structure, boom, take a sell position. Done. Down to the
That's
next
too
dark pool.
easy.
It's too easy, bro.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna do that same shit then, bro. What?
You
Damn.
trade Bitcoin, bro. Tap into the Bitcoin dark pools, and literally, you just patient because you got to
Yeah.
remember, you got to understand that crypto moves so much slower than like Nasdaq or something because the liquidity is just so much smaller, thinner.
Yeah, I've been in a Bitcoin trade since last night. I took a short last night, and yeah, I'm still in it. I'm in a good amount of profit too right now, but I'm
Bro, if
gonna
you
implement that game.
let me pull up this. If you're patient, bro, and you just set on your trading view, you just set alerts and alarms on the deltas in the dark pools, and you only take trades from those specific levels. So
Mhm.
like stay on the higher time frame, and when price comes into those levels, then jump down to the lower time frame and look for intraday scalps. Dude, the accuracy is nuts. Where's the XRP channel at? Here it is right here. Yeah, look at the fucking deltas, bro. It's too clean.
Yeah, way too clean.
You know, you're literally just
Look
taking
at that. Just for all the XRP holders too that are watching this right now, just look at that. Look at that 91 cent level. Like that could be a possibility for XRP, guys. Just saying. Like depending on where the market sentiment goes, that could be possible. Some people will lose their minds if we see XRP below $1 again, bro. Jesus.
excuse me. Yeah, they will. I mean, dude, look at the freaking deltas on the scalp deltas on Bitcoin are nice too. You know, these are perfect as well. It's like just setting alerts and alarms. And I mean,
Yeah.
as a dollar cost averager too, these levels are so beneficial because remember, as a dollar cost averager, your goal is to what? It's to mitigate risk in your portfolio and maximize upside reward. And
Hmm.
so if you are a dollar cost averager and that's all you do, you're just the type of person that has the hodl mindset and you don't have time to day trade and you don't have time to learn about trading, which I get. You know, some people are very busy in their personal lives. I'm not knocking that by any means. But wouldn't you like to know where institutions are positioning themselves in the market so that way you can trade or invest in tandem with that liquidity? Instead of just waking up every day and dollar cost averaging in random spots, wouldn't you like to dollar cost average into the market where it's going to give you the best risk to reward and the best bang for your buck? Well, you can use the deltas and the dark pools for that. You just set alerts and alarms and wait for price to come into them and then buy from those levels only.
Yeah, you can literally put buy orders in too on certain protocols so that it purchases it for you right at that price point. So if
Right
you're
at the dark.
sleeping or whatever, you'll get that. So
Anyways, all right, let's get off the institutional softwares that we have because I don't really like fucking seeming like we're bragging and boasting. But if you guys are interested, tap in, try it out for a month. I encourage you guys. Go into the Discord, try it out for a month. You can always cancel your subscription if it doesn't suit you or benefit you. I guarantee you won't even get through all the information in our Discord in a month. So, there's way too much info and value in it for you to even get through it in a month. The freaking crypto research section alone is literally the research that everybody wants in this ecosystem but can never find. There's some shit in this crypto research section in our Discord that I'm like, how the heck did the researchers even find them? All the documents from these large scale institutions, all the panel discussions that everybody like wants to watch that they take clips from and put them on social media, they have all that's in this Discord. So
Mhm.
go check it out. And then on top of that, we got weekly Zoom calls. Aqua does his DeFi calls. I do trade breakdowns every single day. It's just such a lively community to be a part of. Give it a try. Again, it's only going to benefit you guys in the long term to be a part of an educated based community like this with no hopium and no hype inside. All right.